Good morning everyone. Through this small animation we will understand meaning of delegation. So let's start watching this module and we'll understand the meaning and concept of delegation.
Let's understand what is delegation. Delegation means the granting of authority and responsibility to subordinates and creation of corresponding accountability for their performance. The elements of delegation are authority, responsibility, and accountability. The first element, authority, refers to the right of an individual to command his subordinates and to take required action within the scope of his position. Authority originates from the established scalar chain, flows from top to bottom, and is required to discharge a given responsibility.
So authority in simple term, it means that power to give the orders, and this is flowing from top to bottom. As you see, there are three levels: top level, middle level and lower level. Now authority means to give the powers to others to do the work. Delegation in simple terms, we can say that manager can get the work done through his subordinates, giving the powers and responsibilities to the subordinates. So authority here means just to give the power to the subordinates to do a particular task.
Authority relationships determine superior subordinate relationships and are restricted by laws and the rules and regulations of an organization. Extent and scope of authority increases as one moves to higher levels in an organization. The next element is responsibility, which is the obligation of a subordinate to properly perform the assigned duty. It arises from the superior subordinate relationship, since the subordinate is supposed to perform the job assigned to him or her by the superior. Responsibility flows upwards as a subordinate is responsible to his superior. For effective delegation, authority granted must commensurate with the assigned responsibility.
So as I told you, first element of delegation is authority. Authority means power. To transfer the powers, to transfer the authority or the powers to the subordinates so that they could do the work. Secondly, that the second element is responsibility. Responsibility means obligation to obey the orders given by the superiors. So these are two elements. Third element we'll study. Element also will study. But remember, there should be a parity. There should be a balance between authority and responsibility so that the work could be comfortably done by the subordinate. Delegation itself means that superior is getting the work done by the subordinate. The top level manager is getting the work done by the middle or the lower level managers. And for getting this work done, he needs to delegate, he needs to give his powers to the subordinates. Similarly, when the powers are given, it is the responsibility, it is the obligation of the subordinate to obey the orders and then do the work.
Any disparity between authority granted and assigned responsibility would lead to misuse of authority. The third and last element of delegation is accountability, which refers to an employee being answerable for the final outcome. It cannot be delegated and flows upwards as a subordinate is accountable to a superior for satisfactory performance of work. Accountability is enforced through regular feedback on the work accomplished. Thus, one can conclude that authority is delegated, responsibility is assumed and accountability is imposed. Responsibility is derived from authority and accountability is derived from responsibility.
So students, what did we understand through this small animation? Delegation is the delegation is the transfer of authority and responsibility by the superior to the subordinate. When the subordinate feels that he is overburdened, he can get the work done by his subordinates. Now, when the work is to be done, when others are doing the work on your behalf, in that case, authority is to be given to the subordinates to do the work. Authority is the power to give orders. Secondly, all the powers are included in the authority. Second element is responsibility. Responsibility is the obligation to obey the orders given by the superiors. And third element is accountability. Now suppose I ask you to do work on my behalf. This is delegation. For doing the work, I give you the powers. For doing the work, you assume the responsibility because I have given you the work. It becomes your obligation to obey my orders. But if you do the work wrongly, can I transfer my answerability to you? No, I will be ultimately answerable. So, the superiors can only delegate, can only transfer the authority. Responsibility is itself assumed by the subordinates, and answerability or accountability cannot be delegated at all. In the next video, we learn about the difference between these three elements. Thank you.